It is 4 p.m. We're bringing developing news and the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon, the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao. Some stories we're watching this Thursday, February 5. Senate President Tito Soto says there is no term sharing agreement with Senator Loren Legarda. He notes, however, that the plan is to elect her as the first woman Senate President after deliberations on the 2027 national budget. Soto does not expect any challenge to his leadership on Monday when the Senate plenary session resumes. Speaker Boji D says no impeachment complaint against VP Sara Duterte has been referred to his office. The two complaints were submitted by the Makabayan Bloc and civil society groups to the Office of the Secretary General earlier this week. Meantime, spokesperson for the VP's defense team, Attorney Michael Poa, denies reports that Mary Grace Piatos will be presented soon. That's if Duterte's impeachment complaint reaches the Senate. Poa says he has not made any such statement, neither has he confirmed or announced any course of action. Mary Grace Piatos was previously listed as one of the alleged recipients of confidential funds from the Office of the Vice President. In weather, Tropical Storm Basiang maintains strength as it continues to move towards eastern Mindanao. It was last spotted 230 kilometers east of Hinatuan, Surigao del Sur. Basiang is forecast to make initial landfall over Surigao del Sur tonight or tomorrow early morning. It may also pass close or make another landfall over Siquijor and the southern portion of Negros Oriental by tomorrow afternoon to evening. As of 2 p.m. today, signal number 2 is up over parts of the country. Signal number 1 is also raised over areas in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Philippine inflation rose to 2% in January 2026 from 1.8% in December 2025. Last month's inflation rate was lower than the 2.9% recorded in the same period the year before. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, the increase in overall inflation was mainly driven by faster price growth in housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels. Okay, and joining us this afternoon, of course, is our international tito, si Mr. Raul Llamas, also our political pundit. There he is. Parang ka na sa langit. Ano yan? Ang background mo?
Medyo. Dito ako sa Caritas Philippines General Assembly.
Kaya pala para kami halo sa likod, oh.
Meron. Nandito rin yung PayPal Noon Show.
Oo, talaga merong halo. Parang si Jupiter may umiikot sa paligid na ano.
Kaya nung nagtabi kami, parang kwan eh.
Parang ano. Ituloy mo.
Hindi ko natutuloy.
I-check natin itong isa natin kasamaan kung meron din siyang halo. From the Philippine Star, the Editor-in-Chief, Miss Ami Pamintuan.
Hi. Wala ko hello. Hello
Ayan.
lang. Hello,
Meron siyang
everybody.
hello. Ayan, yung corny mo ha.
Hello.
Akala ko ako yung corny, mas grabe ka pala.
Happy Thursday.
Happy
malapit
Thursday.
na weekend
Thursday.
Isang araw na lang.
na. Oo nga, marami milagro nangyayari dito pag weekend, ha?
Oo nga eh.
Sabi ni Senator Tito Soto, wala naman daw term sharing.
Pero
Sinabi rin ni Senator Loren Legarda, sinabi rin niya, wala daw power sharing.
Pero baka that's a matter of semantics already.
Pero gagawin siyang Senate President pagkatapos ng 2027 budget. Ibig sabihin, meron token na pagiging Senate President. Pamalagay siya sa history books.
Oh.
Pero my question to the two of you is, isn't that a matter of semantics na let's not call it term sharing, pero maghahati kami ng termino.
Well, a lot of things can happen in 1 year. 1 year pa yun eh.
That's true.
Sa
And
end
also,
of the year pa yung 2027 eh.
and also there's no guarantee that Tito Soto will not be challenged, di ba? In the next few months. There's no guarantee.
Yeah. hindi natin malaman. Alam mo naman tong bansa natin.
Oo. Pero may,
Sa politika, walang guarantee. Sa pag-ibig lang meron.
walang guarantee sa pag-ibig. Ikaw talaga. Saan galing yung hugot mong yun? May guarantee ba sa pag-ibig dyan? Ang ating producer, may guarantee ba pag-ibig?
Hindi pag-ibig
May warranty
yun.
ang pag-ibig?
Pag-ibig fund, meron.
O, pag-ibig
Hindi
pa
ba-
meron.
Hindi pag-ibig yun in the first place. Yung tunay na pag-ibig, may guarantee.
Itong si Ami,
Pag-ibig fund nga, meron.
sunod na kakorne itong si Ami. Ami, anong kape mo ngayon?
Galing dito si John Vic Remulla, nahawa ako sa kakornehan.
Alam mo, wala pa tayo 5 minuto, nakaka-strike to ka na.
Dalawa. Okay.
Wala pa tayo 5 minuto sa lagyan yan. Sige. Okay lang yan. Pagbigyan natin. Si Ami minsan lang yung mag-joke eh.
Yep.
Yung alam, medyo.
Medyo sayang ng content.
But again, my question to the two of you is this: from your experience in watching in observing politics, isn't that the same as term sharing? Kasi we saw the same nung ito. We have at least 3 examples. In the 11th Congress, naghati si Ople at Drilon. In the 13th Congress, naghati si Drilon at si Villar. In fact, first 2 regular sessions si Drilon, and by agreement, si Villar ang 3rd regular session by 2007. Si Coco at si Tito Soto, naghati rin sila ng 17th Congress. So, meron din silang...
Saka si Alan Peter din doon.
Gano'n ba? Oo, so may pang-apat.
Alan Peter. Although medyo sapiltan ng konti yun.
Sabi.
Pero ngayon, ang pinagkahatian nila is practically just 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ano
Kasi
na yun?
na.
Dati kasi pinagkahatian yung buong term eh.
Yeah.
3 years,
Yeah.
3 years. Ngayon paghahatian just 2 years.
The leftover.
At paghahatian nila yan sa isang very volatile political climate. So iba yung panahon ngayon. Meron kang existential battle between the president and the vice president and
That's
2
true.
giant dynasties. So iba yung labanan ngayon dun sa mga dating hatian.
Which also makes any agreement on term sharing all the more tenuous kasi there's no guarantee na yung nauna sa term will stay in office.
At saka, hindi, halimbawa, ang pinanggalingan nitong controversy, itong alleged Senate coup, ay 2 bagay. Yung Blue Ribbon Report implicating fellow senators sa corruption and to be proposed to be charged in court. Kalawa, most probably, aakyat yung impeachment pag nakakuha ng 1/3 sa House ng Vice President, pupunta ng Senate. So, kumaga, nangyayari itong power struggle na ito sa Senado sa konteksto ng 2 importanteng developments. Hindi yan nangyari nung panahon ni Drilon, nung panahon ni Drilon tsaka Villar.
Na medyo settled, no?
Oo. Iba yun. Iba yung panahon na yun.
Not during a time of turmoil, political and
Saka
social turmoil.
Nakikita nyo naman loyalties ng mga senador natin ngayon, napaka-fluid. Patalon-talon. Diba? From 1 month to another.
Oo.
Diba? Nag-iiba eh. Mag-iba lang, mas mabilis pa yung change ng season natin, wet and dry.
Tsaka ang itanong nyo,
Mas
paano
matagal
na-resolve yung-
pala.
Ang itanong nyo, paano na-resolve yung crisis?
So, paano nga? Anong balita mo?
Di ko alam.
Uy, hindi
Sabi ko lang, itanong nyo eh.
Kaya nga tatanong ka namin.
Di ba nire-rewrite pa yung
balita
ano? Hindi, pinapapirmahan pa yung ano, di ba? Yung Senate Blue Ribbon Report.
Oo.
Yun,
Pinapaikot
siguro.
yun.
Ang babalita ko ay meron na kasing 15 votes eh, yung mga coup plotters. No? May kumausap dun sa 5. Kaya hindi nila nakuha yung 5.
So, naging 10 lang sila.
Oo. So hindi nila nakuha yung majority para baguhin yung leadership. No?
Kaya-
At ang nag-resolve niyan ay hindi mga taga-Senate.
Taga-ibang branch.
Hindi, well, isa doon, galing sa ibang branch. Yung isa, galing sa private sector. No?
Taga-ibang branch.
Ganyan-ganyan naman yan eh,
Sorry,
di ba?
independent
The
nga pala.
whole year. Magkakaroon tayo ng ganyan ngayon dahil sa, lalo na pag nalalapit yung presidential race eh. Talaga namang ganyan.
Teka, let me go back to the numbers that we've been talking about. So, 15 dapat yung kasama sa coup, yung 5 nagbagong isip, so 10 ang naiwan sa minority. Yung,
Nagbagong isip 30 minutes before the session.
tapos yung...
30 minutes bago muntik nang mapalitan si Senate President.
So yung 5, bumalik dun sa Siyam. So, naging 14 ngayon yung majority. So, pero in effect, nabawasan sila ng isa kasi dati 15 sila.
Well, theoretically, 15 pa rin sila.
Kasama si Tito.
Theoretically, dahil hindi pa naman finormalize na pag-join ng minority. So theoretically or technically, Siyam at 15 pa rin yung bilangan.
So, and remember, 13 lang ang kailangan para maging lahat.
Yes.
So, we have a margin lang, they have a margin lang of 2. As we have right
So
now.
ang lesson dyan sa minority, don't count your eggs until they are hatched.
Before they are hatched.
Mali, don't count your chickens until they've hatched.
Sige. I stand corrected.
Bibilangin mo nga yung
Chicks
itlog
yan,
eh.
chicks.
Yung itlog na yung
count your
bibilangin mo
chicks.
eh. Huwag muna silang
Before they
tawagin
are
manok.
hatched. Yung chicken, yun yung nanganganak.
Yung chicks, okay, chicks.
Don't
I
count
also
your
stand
eggs
corrected.
until they are hatched.
Your chicks.
Dahil merong mga eggs na bugok. May mga eggs na bulok. No?
Medyo marami-rami yun, ha?
Ako kayo, mga paramdam nyo talaga. Kaya tayo trouble eh. So okay.
Oo.
So, yun, malinaw yun ha. May, at least as per Ronald's sources, namuntikan na agapan lang 30 minutes before mag-resume ang session. Yung 5 na kasama dun sa 15 na dapat ay magkukudeta, na kumbinsing magbago isip ulit. Tama, Ronald?
Ngayon, tanong, paano nakumbinsi?
Yun ang ano.
Ano ang quid pro quo?
Ano yung persuasive powers na ginamit?
Oo.
Siyempre,
Ano yung-
siyempre ang ginamit, prinsipyo.
Yung sarcasm talaga eh. Okay. Okay, sarcasm aside.
Sige na, baka tamaan tayo ng kidlat dito. No.
Si Tito Ronald lagi, sige. We
Huwag
shall...
ka na kasi magtanong nung hindi ko namang kaya o pwedeng sagutin.
Kaya mong sagutin, hindi mo lang pwedeng sagutin. Magkaiba yung dalawang yun.
Tanggapin mo na lang kung ano yung output. Gusto mo pa malaman lahat eh.
Siyempre, importante yung output, importante rin ang motive at ang motivation.
Hindi wala na akong sources.
So, okay.
Makikita natin, abangan na lang ang susunod na kabanata. Yung Blue Ribbon.
Okay.
Oo, tingnan mo kung magbabago yung draft report na nilabas nyo.
Yung nalik na draft.
Oo, yung nilabas nyo, napagalitan tuloy kayo.
Oo nga. Kayo kasi.
Yeah. Bok, ipasok natin ating mojo mula sa Malacanang, si Julie Baiza. Julie, anong balita dyan sa Palasyo?
Hi, Julie. Lumabas na yung kanilang principal. No? Out na.
Yes po, halos sa 2 linggo nga after ma-diagnose ng diverticulitis, nagkaroon na ng public engagement si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Kani-kanina lang po ng mga 2:00 ng hapon, galing kami sa San Juan para po sa launching ng Best Skills Passport mobile application ng TESDA. Nagbiro pa ang Pangulo at masigla naman na humarap nga sa pagtitipon na yan. And kung maaalala po natin, January 21 pa last yung huling public engagement o pagpapakita ng Pangulo noong nagkaroon ng homecoming celebration para sa mga atletang lumaban sa 33rd Southeast Asian Games. Kanina naman sa TESDA event, binigyan din po niya na makatutulong nga daw yung bagong mobile passport na yon para nga magkaroon pa ng mas maraming opportunities para sa TESDA scholars. And again, nangako siya na ipagpapatuloy daw yung suporta sa sektor ng edukasyon and yung pagpapaunlad ng skills ng mga Pilipino. Hindi naman po natin nakausap ang Pangulo pagkatapos ng event kasi meron pang next event na supposedly 3:00 pero hindi pa nagsisimula sa ngayon. Diyan naman po sa Pasay City yung Tech Summit or Telco Summit. Telco Summit. Pero ang palasyo, nagsalita naman na kahapon pagkalabas pa lamang nung naging boto ng House Committee on Justice. Ang sabi ni Palace Press Officer Claire Castro, ikinatuwa nga daw po ng Pangulo yung naging desisyon. Nakita raw na wala naman daw talagang merito yung laman ng complaints at maski daw ang Pangulo ay kumpiyansa na wala siyang ginawang anumang impeachable offense. Ang panawagan pa nga raw ni PBBM, let's move forward na. Pagkatapos ito kasi gusto raw pong ang tutukan na ngayon ay yung ekonomiya. Ginit rin po ng palasyo na hindi daw pinanghimasukan ng Pangulo yung naging desisyon ng Kamara kahit na medyo mataas yung bilang or mataas yung bilang ng mga kaalyado niya doon sa lower chamber.
Julie, gaano ko totoo yung chismis ni Ronald Llamas na hindi pala chismis, no? Insinuation niya. May gumamit ng convincing powers doon sa mga senador para hindi magkaroon ng kudeta. At
Wala naman ako sinabi na galing
Wala
Malacanang.
na sinabi executive.
wala nga sinabi.
Wala naman ako sinabi,
Sabi ko insinuation.
Tumingin nga ako sa kisame.
Nako, tikong pa po ang palasyo, ang Pangulo. Specifically, wala pang sinasabi. Hindi pa nga natin siya nakakausap simula nung lumitaw siya. Pero may inaasahan po tayo next week. Tingnan natin kung matutuloy. So baka marami-rami tayong maitanong. Sana na mga impormasyon. And well, tomorrow meron namang another event.
Yes.
So another chance para makausap ulit siya.
Walang sasagot dyan.
Take
nga.
note, ha?
Julie,
Ang sinabi ko
nag-improve
insinuation, hindi ko sinabi na sinabi mo na na Malacanang. Kasi sabi mo branch of government, alam naman Supreme Court. Okay.
Malay mo.
Anyway, sige.
Ju-
Moving on.
Julie, maganda na ba? Malaki bang pinag-improve ng itsura? Kasi bumagsak ang weight ni Presidente, no?
Kamusta
Ano
kulay niya?
itsura niya ngayon?
Actually, tinitingnan ko nga po kanina yung leeg kasi yung huling video nila ni Yusek Claire, yun talaga yung pumayat. Kanina naman
Sobrang
po
payat.
mas maayos na or either natakpan ng suot. Pero parang mas maayos na and mas masigla yung kilos niya kanina. Wala naman pong pagbabago kung paano siya doong last na public engagement niya. Ganun pa rin naman yung kaninang physically yung itsura niya. Pati yung pagsasalita, same pa rin naman po.
So sigurado mo, Julie, na hindi AI yung kaharap mo, ha?
Sigurado naman po kasi umubo.
Hindi kasi nakakakain na raw siya ng additional food. Kaya
Actually,
medyo
yung biruan nga po
nagre-regain na siya
namin,
ng weight.
Baka nga po bumalik kasi ang sabi niya, nasabik siya. So baka medyo nag-overeat.
Yeah.
Kaya mabilis na bumalik yung yung medyo pag-gain ng weight.
Mm-mm.
Punta siya dito sa Tagaytay, lechong baka aming pagkain.
Parang ayaw na po ng sabaw eh.
Bakit?
Ayaw na daw po ng sabaw.
Anong sa sabaw? Hindi ko nag-gets
Ay hindi kasi yun po yung sinabi kasi lagi daw pinapakain sa kanya. Soft diet, puro sabaw
soft
daw.
diet.
Nung
Okay.
nung
Naumay
pumayat
na.
siya.
Nakakain na raw ngayon, ng
So ayaw
konting
na ng
solid.
sabaw. Mm-mm.
Nakakain na raw siya ng konting
Pareho
solid.
sila ng kwan. Pareho sila ng diet ni Manny Mugato, sabaw.
Si Manny, seafood diet yun. When he sees food, he eats.
Bawal naman si Manny. Kayo talaga.
Seafood diet.
Galing nga ng ospital eh. Kung anong pagkasabihin ninyo.
Hindi, si Manny mo gato sinasabi ko.
Kaya nga. Si Manny nga. Si Manny galing ospital.
Oo nga pala, galing sa ospital. Sorry. Oo nga, nagre-regain na rin siya ng weight. Oo.
Kayo talaga.
Pagaling po, Sir Manny.
Okay.
Si Manny, kahit mabawasan ng 50 pounds, gano'n pa rin itsura.
Yan, mas masama sa akin yan. Sama ugali niyan eh.
Okay.
Kahit nasa Caritas.
Si Julie, paubayan natin kay Julie yung palasyo. At baka marami sa kailangan gawin. Maraming salamat sa iyo, mobile
Meron pa
journalist.
schedule dun eh, di
Julie
ba?
Barca.
Matutuloy ba yan? Telco? Matutuloy?
Iniintay ko nga po kasi hindi po kayang tuhugin yung dalawang event. So iniintay ko lang through RTVM. Sa ngayon nga po hindi pa nag-start pero supposedly 3 p.m. So antabayanan po natin kung magsisimula.
Matutuloy. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Julie. And
Thank
at
you,
this
Julie.
point, we bring in our first guest for this afternoon, Congresswoman Jerby Luistro, ang chairperson po ng House Committee on Justice. Magandang gabi, Attorney, Congresswoman, and thank you for joining us
Magandang
this afternoon.
hapon.
Ay, gabi pala, hapon pala. Hindi kasi,
Magandang hapon.
madilim kasi yung background ni
Congresswoman.
Congresswoman.
Hello.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat and thank you for having me here.
Thank you po for joining us this afternoon. Ma'am, let me start off with this.
Good afternoon, Kong.
Good afternoon po.
Dismiss na po yung, decided na po na insufficient in form and substance yung dalawang impeachment complaints against the President. Just to be clear po, hindi na po ito kailangan idaan sa plenary, no? O kailangan po ito idaan sa plenary for a vote. Is it already dismissed? Are they already dismissed as they are at the committee level?
Dismiss in as far as the Justice Committee is concerned only. So this coming Monday po, we will be convening again in the Justice Committee to come up with our committee report. We will vote on our committee report and thereafter we will transmit it to the plenary for the approval of at least 1/3 of all the members of the House. No? If this will be disapproved, by at least 1/3 of the members of the House, it will amount to reversal of
Okay.
the dismissal.
Okay.
In which case, babalik po siya ng Justice Committee and we will be constrained to prepare the necessary articles of impeachment.
1/3 because that's the requirement in the Constitution for endorsing an impeachment complaint by members of the House. So parang sila mismo nag-endorse ng impeachment complaint kung sakali mangyari 'yon.
That is correct.
Pero kung wala mag-invoke, pwedeng hindi na pagputuhan sa plenary.
Necessarily po kailangan siya pagbotohan kasi kailangan natin ng plenary action to make it a valid action of the House of Representatives.
Pro forma siya, no? Pero normally, Congresswoman, kung ano yung rekomendasyon ng Justice Committee, yun naman din ang ipinapasa ng plenary, hindi ba? Yan yung nag-scrutinize ng kaso eh.
I do not want to preempt what will happen in the plenary once we transmit the committee report. Sabi ko nga, we still have today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Anything can still happen, So let's just wait and see kung anong mangyayari sa plenary once we take up the committee report of the Justice Committee.
Ano yung time
Sinasabi po
frame?
yung bayan sabi ng bayan yung daw desisyon ng Justice Committee on this case makes impeachment an impossible dream. Maraming kumakanta niya impossible dream ano po yung masasabi niyo doon sa comment na yon?
I don't think so. For practicing lawyers, this will not be something new, sapagkat sa lahat ng complaints, palaging requirement ang personal knowledge, palaging requirement ang authentic records. And for purposes of impeachment, there are recent jurisprudence na dapat may personal participation ang impeachable official. Another important thing to discuss is the need to establish the connection between the offense charge and the impeachable ground. Like, for example, to illustrate, merong allegations of kidnapping dito sa De Jesus complaint. That is the offense. And the ground, I think, is that they use is culpable violation of the Constitution, So the question is, does this allegation of kidnapping actually constitute a ground for impeachment? So yung sinasabi ni Congresswoman De Lima na nexus or connection between the offense and the impeachable ground, it has to be established,
On another
basically-
note, Congresswoman, on another note, itong second impeachment against the Vice President, anong nakikita niyong time frame diyan? Indicative estimates.
I cannot tell yet because the only information I have is 2 complaints were filed with the Office of the Secretary General, Parang wala pa po akong information kung na-transmit na ba siya kay Speaker.
Hindi pa raw
And
po.
we cannot-
As of today po, hindi pa raw.
hindi pa?
Hindi pa raw po.
Okay. Basta on the part po of the Justice Committee, we can take action only with respect to impeachment complaints which are referred already to us by the plenary, no? So as to when SecGen will transmit that to Speaker and Speaker to the plenary and plenary to the Justice Committee, I cannot tell. But I can assure the Filipino people, once dumating po yan sa Justice Committee, we will take the immediate action para po ma-address, mapag-usapan, at kagaya na nangyari sa impeachment ni Presidente, ay magkaroon din ng necessary deliberation initially to determine sufficiency in form and substance.
Forthwith.
Forthwith.
Ma'am,
We
if I...
will give spirit to the meaning of forthwith.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, if I remember correctly, Tuesday ata final itong dalawang impeachment complaints against VP Sara by these two groups. Ano po understanding niyo dun sa Supreme Court decision as far as... Kasi I recall the Supreme Court decision says na dapat immediately iakyat sa Speaker's office para within 10 session days malagay sa order of business. Kailan po nagsisimula yung pagbibilang ng 10 session days? Kung Tuesday sila nag-file at wala pa sa Speaker's office, are we already on day 2 and 8 session days left for that deadline to be met, or meron bang leeway for the counting? What's your interpretation?
If you will be basing it on the recent resolution of the Supreme Court, no, it would appear that the counting of the 10th session day starts on the day of filing,
Okay.
which means on the day it was received by the Office of the Secretary General, no? Why am I saying this? Kasi dito sa recent resolution, kinonsider nilang deemed initiated yung first complaint, the one filed on December 2,
Yes, ma'am.
no? December 2 of 2024. And
Yes, ma'am.
counting from December 2, the 10th day is
The 14th.
January 14 of
Opo.
2025. That is why, by implication, January 15 of 2026, nag-lapse na ang one-year prohibition period, no? So, if we will follow that pronouncement of the Supreme Court, it appears that it should reckon from the date of filing or date of receipt by the Office of the Secretary General of the impeachment complaint, no? Kaya lang, eto na pag-usapan na rin natin, Ed, during my prior interview,
Yes,
no?
ma'am. Sa big story.
Merong confusion kasi dun sa original decision nila, they expressly pronounced that the one-year prohibition period
Yes, ma'am.
will lapse on February 5, so that February 6 allowed na ulit ang second impeachment complaint against the President. And that is why our question now, sabi ko nga, nasa crossroad na ulit tayo. Which direction are we going to take? Is it the express pronouncement na February 6 pa pwede, na nandoon sa original decision ng Supreme Court? Or is it the January 15, which was implied in the recent resolution of the Supreme Court?
Okay.
Congresswoman, di ba yung latest ang binding? Di ba yung latest?
Yun po kasing latest is only by way of implication. Hindi siya direct
And not like
Pero
July
yung doon sa
25.
original decision, direct statement talaga na February 6 pwede na. So doon naman sa recent resolution, you will only imply from the statement that was given by the Supreme Court. Sabi nila, natapos ng January 14. So without them saying, you will be implying na kung sinasabi nilang 14 natapos, then it follows that January 15 pwede na. Yung original decision was explicit.
Yeah.
Pero
Yeah.
yung resolution, it is by way of implication only. Nonetheless, I recognize that there is a confusion lying in between.
So parang si
February 6 na
Ed Lingao,
bukas.
sinabi ni Ed Lingao, mahal kita, walang alinlangan. Parang ganon.
Ano nang
February
galing
6
yun?
na bukas Congresswoman
Kaya nga
February 6
po.
na bukas.
Kaya nga po, siguro if I were the complainant, I will be choosing the safe,
Sigurado na lang.
The safe,
time frame.
yes. The safe,
Bukas na.
The safe time frame will be from February 6
Down.
until the 10th day counted from January 15.
Kaya nga, bukas na lang. Pero linawin ko lang, Congresswoman, pag-akyat sa plenary at ibinalik sa inyo, no choice na kayo. Yung committee has to prepare na the articles of impeachment. Hindi nyo pwedeng sabihin, hindi pwede yan. You have to prepare the articles of impeachment for transmittal na to the Senate.
You are correct. You are correct.
Oo.
At pag ibinalik po yun sa amin, ibig sabihin, dinis-approve ang aming committee report by way of
Yes.
at least 1/3 votes of all the members of the House.
Wala na kayong
dismissal,
investigasyon.
wala na po. The dismissal
Wala
is
na.
considered reversed.
Pero ma'am, how will you draw up the articles of impeachment kung votation lang ginawa sa plenary? I mean, how will you decide
Oo
what
nga eh.
articles to put in and what the basis would be
Yan
kung
na nga.
botohan lang ginawa sa plenary?
Nireject
don't-
ninyo, paano yan?
I don't know really if this happened na in the past, no? Sabi ko nga,
No.
this is just my second term. Hindi ko alam
Normally,
kung...
pro forma yan eh.
All right, but I am inclined to believe that by reversal, they are saying that there is sufficiency in substance in the two complaints. So, ibig sabihin, babalik kami dun sa dalawang complaint. We will consider the offenses and the grounds to be able to come up with the articles of impeachment. That is my interpretation about that.
So the committee could consolidate
Yes.
and put together
Yes.
what it feels to be and then submit it again for consideration by the plenary.
That's correct.
Pabalik
Ed.
pa ba yun sa plenary?
Definitely. Kailangan po ng approval ng at least 1/3 ulit to warrant the transmittal to the Senate.
Haba, ano?
Oh, haba pala. Pakabutin tayong 2028 yan.
Hindi tayo aabutin ng
60 days, yeah.
2028
60
kasi
days.
may mga reglementary period na that we really need to observe. And they change also the definition of session day. That is why we really need to be very cautious about the number of days that we're spending on every stage of the process.
Pero ma'am, the particulars, kasi I think you're still working with the 19th Congress's rules on impeachment passed by the 19th Congress, of course. Are you going to draw up a new set of rules? Of course, with the keeping in mind yung decision ng Supreme Court last week.
The 19th Congress, the one we're using right now, is similar to the 19th Congress rules on impeachment. We adapted it for the purpose of the 20th Congress. No? As to your question, if we're going to write a new one, if we will follow the decision of the Supreme Court and update our rules or change our rules, that's actually a question that rests upon exclusively to the Committee on Rules.
Rules Committee
no?
nga pala.
Yes, Committee on Rules. And whatever is the position of the Committee on Rules, that will always be subject to the approval of the plenary. Okay? Nonetheless, no, for purposes of impeachment, no, dahil sabi immediately executory, final, no MR, no appeal, no petition, di ba? Yan ang sabi sa resolution. And in my capacity as the Justice Chair, I am inclined to follow at least even prior to the position of the Committee on Rules, I am inclined to follow already the new definition of session days, because I need to be very careful in order not to go beyond the allowable period.
Baka doon pa sumabit. Baka doon sumabit ulit.
That's correct, Ed. And of course, I am accountable as the chair of Justice Committee. And I think there's nothing to lose if I will really observe the new definition of the session days.
Pero ma'am, there's been no discussion among the House leadership on when or whether the Rules Committee is going to draft another set of rules. Wala ka naririnig?
Hindi kasi ako member ng Committee on Rule, pero I had preliminary discussion with STML Lawrence Defensor. Somehow, we have an understanding that definition of session day should be adopted na for purposes of impeachment. Although the prior definition or practice of the House with respect to session day, I think we have to keep that one because it has been a long-standing practice of the House of Representatives even prior to my time. Pag sinabing session day, it does not necessarily mean calendar day. It can be 3, it can be 4. So long as the proceedings are just continuous because merely suspension ang nangyayari in the prior day, no? That is for legislative purposes. Initially, yun yung aming pinag-uusapan. But nothing is official. It has to come from the decision of the Committee on Rules.
Okay. Ma'am, ako, one more question for me. Kasi kahapon, malaking debate o diskusyon, yung particularly yung complaint ng Makabayan Block dun sa BBM parametric formula. And sabi nga ni Vice Chairman Garbin, it was more a policy critique than it was a violation of the Constitution. I get what he's trying to say there na, whether it was good policy or not. Parang dun bumabagsak ang usapin. Pero at the same time kasi, there were also other statements like, for example, made, but I don't know if that's part of the evidence eh. For example, in several interviews, and I don't know if this also came up in some of the hearings, si Congressman Toby Chanco was relating a meeting he had with the President and with Speaker Martin Romualdez, among other people, where the President was so frustrated with the budget of 2025 that he said na parang ilang luxury cars at ilang mansion ba ang kailangan ninyo? May ganun silang usap. Tanda mo yun, Ami? May ganun silang usapan which would imply...
Siligawan daw si Speaker.
Oo, siligawan si Speaker. Which would imply that the President was aware that there was something going on, but he was... I don't know how you describe it eh. Pero parang hindi niya narendahan ng maigi.
All right. So to answer your question, Ed, I wish to remind you of our rules on impeachment na dapat ang allegation of facts is based on personal knowledge and or authentic records. As to that statement of Congressman Toby Tiangco, I don't recall na mayroon siyang affidavit na ina-attach yung mga complainant in any of these 2 impeachment complaints, no? So if there is no affidavit supporting those story or narration of facts of Congressman Toby Tiangco, then it will not satisfy the requirement of verification. Ang sabi sa rules on verification, ang allegation of facts contained in the impeachment complaint must be based either on personal knowledge and or authentic records.
So it should have been notarized. In other words, it should have been made in legal form.
That's correct. And wala nga akong naaalala, Ed, na merong naka-attach na statement ba si Congressman Toby Tiangco in any of the De Jesus complaint, in either of De Jesus or Masa et al. Complaint.
So kung in the same breath, hindi pa pwede yung testimony ni Saldico.
That's correct. Because that video needs to be authenticated, no? And for that to be authenticated, he has to come and appear before the Justice Committee. Ako ito. At lahat ng sinabi ko dyan, ako talaga ang nagsabi niyan. That's how you authenticate.
So kung sakasakali yung video ni Vice President Sara Duterte na nagwa-warning about the assassination, she also has to authenticate it?
By authentication naman of this one, yung video ni Vice President, no, I recall that during that time, nakita ko sa news, authenticated na siya ng NBI. The purpose of that authentication is to determine kung genuine yung video, if that was really the Vice President, no? So, that is in as far as proving the authentication is concerned, no? But as to the way the whole world was able to witness that video, it can be considered for the purpose of proving, yes, napanood ko. Si Vice President ang nagsasalita sa video. And then here comes the authentication of the NBI. Totoo ang video. no? Sometimes kasi it depends on the purpose by which an evidence is being offered, no? So sa atin na nakapanood, the least we can say, napanood ko yung video. Ito ang mga sinabi niya sa video. And then, there should be an independent evidence which will say, totoo yung video.
Ma'am,
So
we're
kung
not lawyers.
ititrete ko si Ed Lingo ng assassination, kailangan ipanotarize ko yung threat ko. Joke lang.
Tanong tayo. Si Ronald talaga, oh. Ikaw talaga, international man of mystery. Ma'am, pero kasi we're not lawyers eh. My simple question from my end. When we say authentication, that can only be done by the person who is the source of the material, or in this particular case nga, you're saying the NBI authenticated the Sara Duterte video, but how were they able to authenticate it? Did they get Sara Duterte, for example, to affirm that it was her on camera? I mean, how does that work? How does authentication work, in other words?
I am really not aware how the NBI authenticate. Basta what I know is by authentication, they try to determine whether the video is genuine. Kung totoo ba yung video na yun. That's all I
Hindi siya
know
AI.
about the NBI authenticating a video, no?
Oo. Hindi siya artificial intelligence.
Oh, lalo nga yun kasi
Possibly,
AI,
possibly that's one of the consideration. Di ba merong isang division talaga ang NBI
cybercrime.
Yeah,
na para
cybercrime.
dito sa mga cybercrime? I think that is the office which did the authentication of the video of Vice President Sara, no? Kasi bagaman napanood ng buong mundo yon, ang kaya lang nating sabihin, napanood natin, ito yung sinabi niya. But as to whether the video is genuine or not, only the proper offices can say that.
On the other hand, she
Hindi
never
naman
denied
denied.
it.
Yeah, she never denied it.
Well,
Hindi
that's
lang daw siya
correct.
nag-threat.
That's correct. That's
Conditional
correct.
lang daw
Because
yung
in
conditional.
in her succeeding interviews, she was like confirming that she did that
Oo.
video.
She just
Ma'am,
said nga
pahabol
it's a
ko lang
conditional,
ibang medyo related lang naman. There's a proposal from Shell Jokno na mag-set up daw ng Congressional Commission on Judicial Reforms. You think that's viable at this point? Although, siyempre, kailangan yun, sa nakikita natin.
Ang lawak, ma'am, ng judicial reform. So, of course, we welcome that because ang dami naman talaga ng kailangan nating i-address about the judicial system.
Judiciary.
Pero kailangan natin ding pag-aralang mabuti how we go about it, no? It's not enough that we are able to set up that program. We should know also how to implement and execute the same.
Kailangan i-limit yung parameters, you're saying.
Yeah, napakalawak. Kailangan pag-aralan kung paano siya i-implement, and there has to be, Congressman Jokno is requesting for a meeting with me with regards
Yes.
to that judicial reform, no? But at the back of my mind, I know already that is very comprehensive. So I really intend to ask him, what particular area of the judicial system would you like to focus, no? And then after he identifies, I would probably be asking, what are the plan of actions, action plan mo para ma-address natin yung gusto mong i-address about the judicial system. Mahirap kasi to come up with a policy or a bill na wala kang parameters of what you really want to do. We will be discussing that along with Congressman Chel Jokno. I respect that man so much.
Okay.
Okay. Ronald, meron pa? Ami?
Okay na ako.
Okay. Ma'am, maraming
Okay,
salamat for joining us this afternoon. Congresswoman Jelby Luisto, chairperson po ng House Committee on Justice. Always a pleasure to have you on board po.
Maraming salamat
Salamat.
po. And I just want you to know I am your follower. I'm always watching you.
Salamat.
Si Ronald yun.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Congresswoman.
Thank you.
Thank you po. Ingat po.
Huling tanong
Oh, may
ako.
pahabol.
Yes po.
Nagbago ba yung furnishing ng kotse nyo o nagbago yung kotse nyo?
Pinapagawa ko yung isang service ko sira.
Hindi yun yung usually ginagamit nyo eh.
This is my husband's car. Kailangan ko bang hiram muna sira yung service ko
Si Ronald talaga muna napapansin.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Masyadong observant si
Oo nga.
Edu.
Kaya ma'am, siya yung
Madalas kasi
aming,
yan magpa-interview dun sa kotse niya rin eh.
kaya siya yung aming international man of mystery.
Multitasker tayo, kaya ganito. Maraming nakakapansin. Always moving ako
Thank you po, ingat po.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
At magandang hapon po sa
Good
lahat
afternoon
ng
po.
mga followers and viewers.
Thank you, Kong.
Okay, you're watching Storycon on One News. We just need to take a break. We'll be right back. You've got developing news in the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to Storycon, the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao, and of course with us, Ami Pamintuan ng Philippine Star and Tito Raul Llamas, our resident political heckler. Busy-busy si Ronaldo. Nagawin Ronald. Dumudot-dot. Okay. Anyway, joining us this afternoon is Ako Bicol Party List Congressman Alfredo Garbin Jr. He's also the Vice Chairman of the House Justice Committee. Did I get that right, sir? Congressman Garbin.
Tama po, magandang hapon po sa inyong tatlo.
Thank you for joining
Good
us.
afternoon, Kong.
Thank you for joining us, sir, this afternoon. Sir, of course, we have a lot of questions about impeachment, pero we just had an impeachment discussion, but we'll also get to that with you. If you don't mind, I'd also like to start off na rin, kasi you're still, of course, you're Ako Bicol Party List. We're wondering, of course, out of curiosity, is anybody from your group in touch with Zaldico and his whereabouts?
Well, that was a long time ago when I had a talk with Congressman Salde. I think that was August ba before he tendered his resignation. I was the one who filed his resignation.
Opo.
Tapos noon, that was the last time I talked to him. So ngayon, I rely so much on Attorney Rui Rondain. He's the designated lawyer and spokesperson of Congressman Saldico. So whatever comes out from him, siya talaga yung authorized. And yung mga naririnig ko sa DILG at Ombudsman, siguro walang basihan yun dahil kung ano lang yung sinasabi ni Roy Rondain, yun lang ang galing kay Kong Saldico. Yun ang aking paniniwala.
Pero sir, is Zaldico still a part of, I know he's no longer the nominee in Congress, he's already resigned as a congressional nominee, but is he still the chairman, for example, of Ako Bicol? Does he still have any position in the party list?
No more po, he totally severed his ties with Ako Bicol Party List in all our papers and in that of the COMELEC registrations and filings. Wala na po ang pangalan ni Saldico.
Sa pakikipag-usap niyo po with the lawyer, nasan po kaya si Mr. Ko? Would he be in Europe? Kasi ang latest na sabi sa amin ni John Vic Remulla, wala naman daw sa Sweden, andun pa rin sa Portugal.
I cannot confirm that, but yeah, the apostle points that or once upon a time he was in Sweden kasi syempre he had to appear personally before the lawyer who notarized the said document. But as to whether kung nasaan po siya, kahit si Attorney Rui Rondain hindi niya rin alam eh. So tinatanong si Rui, alam mo ba? Sabi hindi na rin tinatanong kung nasaan si Kong Saldi.
Kong, nakaupo rin kayo sa Justice Committee, di ba?
Opo, Vice Chair po tayo.
So napag-usapan din doon yung testimony ni Congressman Saldico, di ba? Wala bang feelers na gawing legal yung kanyang testimony? Either sa isang document or sa pagbalik dito?
Wala din eh. And in fact, I trying to confirm whether there was the truth behind Kong Saldi willing to appear before the committee. Wala pong ganun. Wala siyang and the only way we can verify the statement of Kong Saldi and use it before the Committee on Justice is there must be a document that will attest to that fact. And I'm referring to an affidavit. Wala akong affidavit na prinisinta sa Committee on Justice.
So walang attempt kahit sa isang Philippine Embassy sa Europe na gumawa siya ng affidavit?
Wala po, wala.
So kung hindi ma-authenticate yung video na yan, it's inadmissible as
Well,
evidence.
in all judicial and quasi-judicial bodies,
Yes.
it needs to be Committee on Justice because when you speak of determination of sufficiency in form and in substance, there must be a recital of facts constituting the offense charge. And when you say recital, it's not just recital. It should be recital plus facts. When you say facts, based on authentic records or even testimony. And wala hong basihan talaga yung pagpresenta ng video or allegations that can support the testimony of Kong Saldico. The only way is really an affidavit.
Kasi sir, ang
But
dami
apart from
niyang...
an affidavit, kasi medyo seryoso yung mga sinabi niyo dyan Will you require supporting evidence? Di ba? Kasi medyo seryoso yung mga accusations na done against very high officials in the country.
Well, apart from the affidavit, it should be attested to. Meaning he's willing to attest to the narrations of all facts contained in said affidavit. And iba kasi yung nag-submit ka lang ng affidavit, but you have to identify and certify that all the allegations and the said affidavit are true and correct. Okay?
Saka, matatanggap niyo ba yung kung wala siya rito? Kasi meron ganong judicial question May right ba yung walang tao na wala rito? Kasi meron siyang limited legal rights, no? In that case, ikaw ang akusador, do you have to be physically present for this kind of case?
Yung experience ko sa law practice, although what was cut short, the one who made the affidavit should identify the same before any courts of law. So, kailangan na mag-appear personally. And identify the same and attest to the fact that siya yung pirma na doon, kanya yon at susumpaan niya rin yon sa korte.
Kong, after all these unprecedented controversies, ano ba naging status ngayon ng Ako Bicol? May changes ba sa inyong mga committees na inuupuan? May changes ba sa inyong relasyon sa mga leadership ng House? Ano ba nangyari dahil nasa gitna yung Ako Bicol sa lahat ng ganitong mga pangyayari?
Of course, before this happened, dati ako part ng leadership. But after that, nawala ako sa leadership. Nawala na rin ako sa Commission on Appointments. But all major committees was retained. And yung aming second nominee who replaced Kong Saldi was, nag-sworn in na rin. So, mukhang konti lang naman yung changes. Nawala lang ako sa House leadership.
Well, sir, kasi rin, for quite a long time, at least since 2019, si Zaldico was parang the face of Ako Bicol of the party list. And in a lot of ways, kasi especially since he was the Appropriations Committee chairman at one point, he was also looked at as the moving force behind Ako Bicol. So personally, I'm wondering, when all these scandals erupted, was he ever sanctioned by his own party, by Ako Bicol? Kasi kahit papaano, sinama niya, maybe unwittingly, sinama niya yung inyong partido doon sa iskandalo.
Tinanggal na po namin siya. And if you put it that way na kumbaga sanction, siguro ganun na po yung sanction namin. Opo.
Mhm. Kasi yun nga well, he was he was the face of Ako Bicol for such a long time eh. So whatever he did or did not do, meron siyang residual effect kahit paano sa inyo at sa mga
Well,
nakaupo.
talagang affected yung aming reputasyon bilang
Yes.
isang political party. But we're trying to come up with a how do you call this, a solution to that problem by just continuing our advocacy and programs in order to fill those lost credibility sa aming constituency, which is the Bicolanos. And sa tingin ko, pakunti-kunti na ibabalik po namin.
Mhm. I guess what I'm trying to say, sir, is is your party taking further steps to try to get him to either come back, clear his name, or or do anything to move things forward? Kasi right now he's abroad, everybody's waiting for him to do something, say something, put something in writing, at parang nag-iintay lang tayong lahat eh. Kayo po, yung grupo ninyo ang pinakamalapit sa kanya. Hindi si John Vic Remulla, hindi si Boying Remulla. Yung grupo po ninyo ang pinakamalapit sa kanya. So we're wondering kung meron lang any effort from the part of your group to reach out and ask him to step forward.
We want to clear his name. Ang kanyang reservation lang is, syempre, pag umuwi siya dito ay ikukulong siya kaagad. So yan ang kanyang reservation. But he wants to tell all and tell the Filipino people what really happened when he was the chair of the Committee on Appropriation. I think what he said was just part of the whole story that he has reserved for the Filipino people. Yan ang kanyang sinabi sa kanyang abogado kay Attorney Ruy Rondain na marami pa siyang pwedeng sabihin, but he wants a fair trial pag umuwi siya.
Pero considering the accusations against him, Congressman, I think going to prison, going to jail is a given in his case Mukhang magiging non-negotiable yan, and I think the public will not accept na hindi siya makukulong kahit sandali man lang.
Well, I totally agree with you. Right now, he's facing a case which is a non-bailable case.
Yes.
Kaya nga po, siguro that's one of the reason why di siya makauwi-uwi dahil sigurado talaga pag ay makukulong siya.
Opo. Also, another thing po, he's the only high-ranking official so far, politician so far, who has admitted to making deliveries of cash, baga-bagahe, to high officials. Yung iba kasi, mga engineer lang siya lang yung official na politician na umamin ng ganun. I know it's not authenticated yet. I know it's not in affidavit form, pero it's very, very public, and it's on his Facebook page. And it's also the reference of Attorney Ruy Rondain. Sasabihin niya sa amin, tingnan niyo yung ipinost ni Zaldico. So, you know what I mean? Siya pa lang ang talagang lumabas ng ganun na, in a way, umamin. I suppose, pwede mo sabihin umamin, di ba, Ami, Ronald? Umamin siya na nag-deliver siya at nag-coordinate siya ng pag-deliver ng pera sa mga opisyal. So, so far, siya pa lang ang pinakamataas na umamin.
Well, tama po. Sinasabi niya kung ano yung naging participation niya and the whole story. Why he come out of the open and speak publicly what really happened. Kasi parang ang nangyari sa kanya ay siya yung naging scapegoat at sinabi niya man lamang kung ano yung kanyang partisipasyon. But that is up to him. I cannot confirm or deny whether what his statement is true or not. And at the end of the day, korte ang magsasabi whether all these testimonies are admissible.
Congressman, we're assuming na malaki ang impact ng iskandalo on your party. Did the party ever consider siguro name change, part of an image remake? Meron bang ganung mga usapan within the party?
Mahirap po dahil yung party is registered before the COMELEC. And when you change it, this will be totally a different party. So
Okay.
another process of accreditation before the COMELEC. So kami po ay naniniwala that the nominee has a separate and distinct personality over the political party. And therefore, sa kinalaunan po ay yung partido at ang kanyang advokasya ay yun rin po ulit ang mangingibabaw sa aming constituency.
Mm.
Okay. Bok, lipat ako sa impeachment. Kayo, okay kayo?
Okay.
Lipat ako sa impeachment.
Okay,
Sir,
okay.
yesterday medyo busy kayo doon sa
Yes.
impeachment complaints sa both the Makabayan Block and yung kay De Jesus, Attorney De Jesus na impeachment. And I was reading what you were saying na yung at least one of the impeachment complaints reads more like a policy critique than an impeachable offense or a willful constitutional breach. I think you're referring to the Makabayan Block impeachment complaint. I get what you mean, na parang it's more a question of whether or not it was correct policy, more than it is a question of whether there was something deliberately illegal. Pero at the same time, sir, there are also questions being raised about the priorities in that parametric formula that was put together by Cabral. For example, yung allocation for Ilocos Norte, of course, the President's son's district, significantly disproportionately high compared to, for example, the flood control projects of Rizal, where the population is so much bigger. So may ganun po na but then again, I don't know if that's an impeachable issue. I have to acknowledge that. I don't know if that's an impeachable issue. Pero there's something wrong pa rin there. So what do you think po?
When you talk about culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayal of public trust, it should be something that is willful and intentional on the part of the culpable of violation of the Constitution. On the other hand, betrayal of public trust, it speaks about a violation of oath of office. Yung policy disagreement and the priorities of the president is not tantamount to the willful violation of the Constitution. In fact, you talk about allocations found in the General Appropriation Act. This is purely an act of Congress signed by the president. So how can we come up with an impeachable offense that is grounded on act of Congress? Diba? So mahirap po ibaling at ipunto, ituro sa ating presidente. And that's why I'm saying this is more of a policy critic, a policy disagreement that is not tantamount or would result for a ground of impeachment.
Pero sir, wouldn't it fall under graft? Maybe not corruption, pero wouldn't it fall under graft? But I don't know if graft is a high crime.
Well, graft and corruption is one of the impeachable grounds, but there was no allegation as to whether how those allocations resulted into graft and corruption. Specific on itemized allocations. Wala eh. General lang yung kanilang allocations. Yung kanilang general yung kanilang averments and allegations. So, walang-wala ho talaga. Tinitingnan ho namin when we consider it to be if sufficient in substance.
Yung graft kailangan
Ako-
may personal benefit dun sa akusado.
Personal benefit
That
or
he personally benefited.
personally benefited or
Yeah.
personally instructed to do such act. Wala akong ganun na aligasyon eh.
Ako, fearless forecast ko, kung sa plenary tungkol dyan sa
Henry.
PBBM.
Well, tama po kayo dahil yung aming desisyon sa Committee on Justice is not yet final. The committee has to render it report sa plenaryo and by next week, pagbubuhan yan sa plenaryo. Sa tingin ko po, re-respetuhin ng plenaryo yung desisyon ng Committee on Justice that will be upheld by the plenary.
Sir?
Kasi kung plenary yun at babalik na rin, di ba, they will have to appreciate kung ano yung pinag-aralan ninyo, di ba? Di ba? Kung magiging botohan will be on purely political lines, baka sakaling may magkaiba yan. Pero if they're going to depend on the work of their own Justice Committee, medyo mahirap yata ipaliwanag yung na walang political element being injected. Although, of course, impeachment is an political process,
Well, tama po kayo. Essentially, impeachment is a political act and you cannot expect the cold neutrality of an impartial judge. And
Yes.
it plays also the partisanship. So, nandyan din yung
Yes.
partisanship. So, I would say that confidently that by next week, ito po ay susuportahan ng plenaryo.
Kasi may nagsasabi, I'm asking that Congressman kasi may mga nagsasabi na may effect daw sa sentimiento sa House yung ongoing investigation dyan sa flood control. Plus, yung nag-approach na presidential race sa 2028 na medyo
Lumalapit na.
malakas yung kabilang side. Oo. Kaya yan daw may mga ganyang consideration
Idagdag
in
mo
all
rin,
these
Ami, idagdag mo na rin yung mga
impeachment
recent surveys.
cases. And the recent surveys, although hindi masyado pa naman. Tama ba yung ganung mga observation, Congressman?
Well, valid naman po yung lahat ng observation but as you can see in the committee, nagkakailan lang po yung bumoto, how much more sa plenary na majority of the major political parties are supportive of the president. So sa tingin ko po ay hindi lulusot yung pag-overturn ng desisyon ng Committee on Justice. If you want to overturn it, it needs 1/3 of the members of the House and ilan lamang yung hardline opposition sa ngayon sa House of Representatives. Nakakailan lang.
Okay.
Okay.
O yan, fearless forecast mo.
Sir,
Tingin ko po hindi mababali.
Ayan, oo.
pero sir, papirless forecast na rin.
Forecast ni Ronald.
Pero sir, papirless forecast na rin kasi sooner or later yung impeachment complaint against VP Sara Duterte aabot sa sa Justice Committee.
Justice
Baka
Committee.
pwedeng mag-pirless forecast na rin kayo doon.
Wala pa po dahil wala pa ngong referral sa plenaryo at inaantay po namin sa komitiba.
Speaker.
Hindi ko pa ho nabasa yung impeachment complaint na final ng dalawang grupo that was endorsed by members of the House. So, premature pa rin ho para magkaroon tayo ng forecast.
Yes, sir. Although, but generally, sir, it's going to be the same as last year, 2024 pa kasi yung dalawang impeachment complaints na yan eh. It's gonna be the same except for the addition of the Madriaga affidavit. But other than that, it's basically, I think, the same eh, di ba? Ba?
But to me, it's a first look dahil I was not a member of Congress As Congress, hindi ako member ng 19 Congress po. So,
Okay. Ay, ayan,
Okay.
nagbayrata ho kayo. Okay, sige. Okay.
Okay.
Ronald, ikaw.
Okay na, baka
Okay na.
baka mapahamak si Congressman Garbin sa mga tanong ko eh.
oo nga.
Tanungin mo na, Ronald. Sige na.
Tanungin mo na, makikinig kami.
Oo nga, sige na. Makikinig lang kami.
Okay na. Bubulong ko na lang sa kanya pag nagkita kami.
Salamat, Ronald. Salamat, Ami. Salamat, Ed.
Ito talaga si Ronaldo.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Congressman.
Magandang
Thank you
hapon
po.
po. Ako, Bicol Congressman Alfredo Garbin Jr. Thank you, sir. We are on until 5:30. Historical will be right back after a quick break, so please stay tuned. And the last stretch of the program, welcome back to Storicon, the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao, and of course with us, aming pamintuan ng Philippine Star and Ronald Llamas, ang bossing ng mga political hecklers. Okay, alamin natin ang latest stories. Wala pa. Okay, but Bok, makikichismis tayo sa mga reporter ng 5 sa House at saka sa Senate kasi mukhang may kumukulo na naman eh. Hindi siya ni Ronald ang kumukulo may mga kulog-kulog na naman at hindi rin siya dahil sa bagyo.
Not a boring moment.
No,
Never a
never
dull
dull
moment.
moment, di ba? But it's a good thing pala na naklaro yun kanina kasi akala natin kahapon na pag na-dismiss na in form and substance sa committee, at least akala ko kahapon pag na-dismiss in form and substance sa committee, dismiss na siya.
Optional.
Optional
hindi na
yung
kailangan
plenary.
iakyat
Hindi,
sa
kailangan mo ng
plenary.
pro forma na approval ng plenary. Pero
So,
hindi ko alam na sa bagay, pwede naman talaga ma-reverse siguro, no?
Pero tama naman yung sabi ni Ani kanina na most probably ma-affirm yan sa plenary. Yung inaprobahan o hindi
Ng
inaprobahan ng Justice Committee.
They have to respect their own committee. Bakit ka pa nag-committee?
So, in effect, bale, if I'm getting this right, in effect, hindi pa nagsisimula yung 1-year bar. Tama ba?
Hindi, yung Justice Committee na yun, pagpunta sa kanila, yun na yun.
Sa
Yun na yun,
bagay,
yung pag in-split sa
dalawa
Justice.
sa iba The one is...
Ang hiring ko sa sinasabi ni Ed yung sa Vice President. Ang
Hindi.
pinag-uusapan namin kanina, Ed, yung sa diba? Sa Presidente.
Kasi yung dalawang condition ng Korte Suprema sa decision niya One for initiation, one is the referral to the committee, the other one is dismissal
Yun na yun.
of an impeachment complaint. In particular, sinight yan nung July decision. Kaya medyo
So,
nagulan.
kailan mag-uumpisa yung 1 year?
Ayoko na hulaan.
Dismissal ng plenary. Nakalagay yata doon yung Justice Committee.
Ayoko na hulaan. Malalaman na lang natin pag ano. Ayoko na magpilit na maintindihan yung mga kaligal-ligalan na yun. Okay, let's bring in our reporter from the House of Representatives, si Marian Enriquez, News 5 correspondent. Marian, anong balita dyan?
Ay, Bok, ano ba gusto niyong balita na marinig ngayon?
Siyempre,
Hi, Marian.
Una natin.
maraming kamalitasan.
Ang isang balita natin muna ay merong panibagong maghahaing impeachment complaint laban kay VP Sara Duterte. Sa Lunes po yan, Monday, February 9. Pangatlong grupo na yan, kumbaga, kasi
Sino yan?
may
Sino
nauna nang ang dalawang kung sino, surprise daw, pero ang kinumpirma sa atin ng source yun nga, malakas daw yung kanilang ilalatag ng mga grounds, pati na yung mga ebidensya, no. Basically, tungkol pa rin ito sa confidential funds, yung anila ipaglustay nga daw, doon sa confidential funds ni VP Sara sa kanyang DepEd at OVP, no, o OVP na obitina, gayon din, yung mga bago ngayong lumabas nga, no, nung kaya madriyaga ng mga testimonya ay isasama rin nila.
Edi pareho lang ng first two.
Yes, actually, yung first two, kasama nga rin yun doon, no? Pero ang hindi natin sure kung may pang-apat pa. So yun yung aabangan natin. Pero ang isang kumpirmado, may pangatlo sa Monday. Actually, kung malala po ninyo, no, hanggang ngayon, kasi kanina nakausap din natin, nasubukan nating tanongin kay Speaker Bogie D kung may na-refer na ba sa kanya na reklamo mula sa Secretary
Wala.
General nitong mga VP Sara. Hanggang ngayon, wala pa raw. Tapos, tatanong natin, yung unang complainant, yung Makabayan Block, si Antonio Tino, Congressman Tino, sabi niya, dapat daw may na-refer na dapat sa kanya, no? Pero ginagalang din naman niya at maiintindihan niya kung hanggang ngayon parang tinitignan pa nila kung kailan yung tamang panahon para din ma-refer to at mailatag dun sa order of business.
May 10
Kasi
days naman
kinoconsidera nila yung yung Supreme Court ruling, kasi kung maalala po ninyo, February 6 pa daw dapat, tapos may panibagong ruling kamakailan nga na iba yung interpretasyon ng Korte Suprema, no, doon sa session days, kaya mas napaaga yung pagpaso ng 1-year ban, kaya para daw safe, kumbaga naiintindihan ni Tino kung doon na lang sila sa mas safe, no, doon sa February 6 siguro kung ma-refer nga yan sa ng House Rules doon sa Committee on Justice. So may panahon pa naman, tama ka, Bok, sinabi mo na may 10 session days. So, mahaba-haba pa yan.
Pero ano tong...
Marian, most likely ba ikaw consolidate yan? Kasi medyo pare-pareho yung mga issues.
Actually, ganun din. Yung katulad ng nakita natin doon sa paggulong nung pagbusisi ng House Committee on Justice doon sa impeachment complaints laban kay PBBM, yung unang dalawa, ganun din daw yung gagawin nitong komite dito sa paggulong naman kay VP Sara. So, isa-isa muna yan. Yung una, Makabayan Block. Pangalawa, yung grupo ni Sandanyan de Lima. Tapos ito nga, hopefully yung pangatlo, no? So, I guess, medyo madugo to at magiging paulit-ulit kasi yun nga, no, pare-pareho sila ng mga pinag-aangklahan ng mga aligasyon.
May bago bang ebidensya? Kasi sabi mo, sinasabi nitong pangatlong grupo, solid ang ebidensya nila eh. Kung pare-pareho silang ebidensya, hindi siya mas solid. Pare-pareho sila eh. So meron ba silang...
Yun ang titignan natin sa
something new?
kanilang ipapasang reklamo. Pero yun yung base nga doon sa kwento niya, no? Meron nga silang mga bagong dinagdag. No, kung maalala po ninyo, may third group din before, pero so titingnan natin kung pati rin ba yun ay maghahain ng reklamo bagong, tingnan natin sa Monday.
Okay. Okay. Sige.
Marian, buhay pa rin ba yung mga tuloy-tuloy yung, alam mo naman dito sa bansa natin, meron pa rin bang chismis, leadership change in the House? Buhay pa rin ba yun?
Actually, sa totoo lang, wala na akong narinig. Yung nung last year, late last year, doon medyo maingay eh.
Yeah.
Medyo mas malakas tayong naririnig na may naririnig tayo na hindi masaya yung ilang kongresista, kumbaga, dito sa bagong liderato. Kasi meron tayong ibang naririnig na sabi nung iba nating kausap na hindi naman daw bumababa nga sa kanila. Parang kung pupunta man daw, mabilis lang yung ganon. So, dito, ngayon, honestly, di namatay, kumbaga parang katulad ng ginawa ng Committee on Justice dun sa pagbasura nila sa impeachment complaint kay PBBM. Parang namatay din yung issue nitong leadership change, ha?
Marian, anong pakiramdam mo? Anong mga chismis dyan tungkol sa possible impeachment ni Vice President Sara pag umabot sa plenary?
Ayokong sabihin ko ano yung tingin ko, pero Tito Ronald, ang sigurado, itong si Antonio Tino, si Congressman Tino, sinabi niya na very confident siya na lulusot sila sa Committee on Justice, both substance and form, at lalo na rin sa plenaryo. Naniniwala siya kasi hindi naman daw nagbago yung sitwasyon ngayon ng majority ng mga kongresista na sumusuporta pa rin kay Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, at sinasabi nga niya, kita naman doon daw talaga yung divide, talagang yung away sa politika nitong kampo nga ng Pangulo at ng Vice. Kaya naniniwala siya na tutuluyan dito sa Kamara si VP Sara.
Ayaw mong ibulong kay Ed yung personal mong pagtingin?
Siguro i-PM ko na lang kay Bok Ed.
Marian,
Okay, talaga, baka matrouble yan.
yung ibang topic kasi nasuspend din na naman for another 60 days si Congressman Miao Barsaga, no? Sabi ng mga kaibigan niya, sobrang tagal na yan, nawawalan sila ng representation. Ano ba balak nilang gawin dyan? Ang tagal na yung bakasyon na yan.
Naku,
Sahod
yan nga,
naman.
di ba, Ami, ang
Eh,
gusto
walang
pa nga ng
sahod.
iba expel.
Yes.
Ang gusto pa nga ng iba expel, ano? So,
Oo nga,
titignan
i-expel na
natin
lang
ngayon
nila.
kung paano yung kasi titignan natin ngayon kung paano yung magiging pagbabago, kung meron nga ba sa gawi or asal nito ni
Di naman yan
Miao habang
titigil.
siya ay suspended. O yun.
Kasi kahit pa paano,
So, doon tayo magkakalaman.
pag expulsion, kahit pa paano, may mekanismo yan na para, for example, kung mag-appoint yung speaker ng bagong kapalit.
Para may representation yung ano niya, constituency
so, kahit
niya.
pa paano, may mekanismo para may representation pa rin.
Tama. Tama nga. Tama nga naman. So, malalaman natin
Pero-
yan sa mga susunod.
Ang
Pero ang
Marian,
balita
di ba
ko,
may bumoto?
lahat halos ng, ang balita ko lahat ng mga, hindi naman lahat, most if not all of those NUP members. Kasi di ba nag-umpisa na nag-file ng cyber libel, yung negosyante si Enrique Raton, DS Puno, itong si Rolando Valeriano ng Manila. Alam ko, marami pang ibang NUP members din na magpa-file sa iba't iba nilang lugar. So, ganun kalala. Yung abangan natin. Ganun pa karami yung matatanggap na cyber libel ni Kiko.
Ronald.
Kikong Miao.
Di ba, Marian, merong congressman na hindi bumoto to suspend Barsaga?
Oo nga raw. Meron nga raw. May tama ka, kung Tito Ronald, marami nga din. Merong ilang mga hindi bumoto para, yun nga, isuspend siyang muli.
Meron silang paliwanag, bakit?
Tito Ronald, dahil nakatutok tayo sa impeachment at nasa kabilang building tayo, I think si ating mojo na si Arles ang tumutok doon sa bagay na nga yan sa usapin ng ethics complaint against Kiko. Pero may mga paliwanag nga sila, no?
Talagang demanding yan si Ronald eh.
May interested kasi ako paano nila ano yung kanilang argument.
Pero 120 days na yung suspension na yan, ano?
Okay.
You have only 3 years to serve your constituents, eh.
Teka, Marian, calendar days ba yan o session days?
Calendar days.
Calendar
Yung
with session
interpretation
days.
against the calendar days.
So
yeah.
yung 60 days is basically 2 months.
2
Plus
months.
another 60 days, 4
2
months.
4 months na.
Yes, another 2 months.
Oh.
Okay.
Tama,
Marian,
tama.
merong misa dyan. Merong misa dyan ng isang araw. Dumalo ka ba sa misa?
Yung misa, naku, hindi natin nga nadaluhan yung misa dito, no? Pero I think, dumalo nga yung ilang mga kongresista dyan. Sinubukan din pala natin din ambushin doon si speaker, pero, mahirap nga mag-ambush. Hindi natin nakuha si speaker.
Okay.
Interesado rin kasi ako doon sa mga dasal ng mga congressman.
Ano yan? Tito Ronald?
Interesado si Ronald sa mga
Interesado
dasal.
ako sa mga dasal nila ng misa.
Kung ano daw yung dasal ng congressman. Pag sana kami madawet.
Kayo talaga, kayong dalawa talaga, matotrouble na naman tayo yan. sige nga. Yung tindahan, isara na natin. Baka mamaya, matrouble pa tayong 2 oras. Okay, maraming salamat. News 5 correspondent, Marian Enriquez.
Thank you,
Salamat,
Marian.
Okay, thank you for joining Storicon today. Ami pamintuan ng bossing ng Philippine Star and Rol Llamas ang bossing ng mga misteryosong gentleman.
Kalimutan ko itanong yung bangs ni Barsaga. Maganda yung bangs niya eh. Gusto ko yun eh.
Gusto mo magkaroon ng bangs?
Yung bangs. Tingin mo bagay sa akin, may bangs.
Tingin ko hindi. Gusto mo, next time na sa studio ka, dadala ko ng pentel pen. Subukan natin lagyan. Ikaw talaga. Pilyo ka talaga. O sige. Goodbye na tayo. Pinapalis na tayo. Join us again tomorrow at 4 p.m. for Storycon. I'm Ed Lingao, kapatid. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.